Some disclaimers: I live in Kansas at the tail end of February. You're probably going to hear some wind in the background. Also, I am not making the religious argument that people usually make when they make this argument, and I find that argument to be silly. Their argument is that there's a space over here where science can't go, therefore God is in that thing, which doesn't make sense. It's like, here's a place where we can't do stuff scientifically, therefore magic! And then magic makes scientific claims. So, yeah, I'm not arguing from a religious perspective, even though that's usually why people do this type of, the whole you can't prove love, therefore God, which is nonsense. But I have to disagree with Lee Lemon too. She makes an argument which in philosophy is known as psychoneural identity theory, and I'm getting most of my ideas for this video from this book. Philosophy of Mind, Jae-Gwon Kim. Anyway, the problem that Lee Lemon makes is that she makes an identity statement that I don't think exists. And the thing is that she's relying 100% on science while not using philosophy at all. And this is what happens when you don't use philosophy. You start making philosophic claims which are not well thought out or just have issues. She says, yes, we can prove love because scientifically we can find the chemicals in the brain that happen when you have love. That doesn't prove love. The problem is that we're talking about qualia here. Qualia is first-person experiences or feelings that, by definition of them being first-person, cannot be examined by others. So, you can look into my brain and find out what chemicals produce what kind of qualia. So you can look at my brain and see the chemicals associated with love. But we can't make the identity claim between the two that these chemicals are love. It could simply be that these chemicals produce the qualia of love, and that qualia of love itself cannot be tested because we can't open the brain and see qualia. We can't open the brain and see the qualia of love. We can only see the chemicals which seem to produce that. Plus, another problem with Lee Lemon's argument is the argument made in this book against Lee Lemon's. She probably doesn't even know that the argument she's making is called psychoneural identity theory because it's a philosophic argument, and she's making a philosophic argument while seeming to have a scientific argument. But and just because it's philosophic doesn't mean it's less strong. Philosophy has right and wrong. You can be very wrong in philosophy. Philosophy is very strong because it has such rigor when it comes to logical analysis. But anyway, yes, the argument basically is, what if we had sentient life that didn't have those chemicals? Like, what if we had a life form that wasn't even carbon-based, that was experiencing qualia, told everyone he was experiencing qualia, or at the very least it seemed very likely that the love qualia was being felt by this non-carbon-based life form. But they didn't have the chemicals that we associate with love. They didn't even have human chemicals. They had some way different other kinds of chemicals in their brain. So we can't really identify these chemicals here equals love. Because now you have someone who has the love first-person experience, but their chemicals in their brain are way different, not even close to the original human chemicals. But they are still experiencing love. Because the thing is, we should only think in terms of these chemicals are like a function. They have the function of producing qualia, but they themselves aren't qualia. They don't equal qualia. They're just the thing which has the function of producing the first-person experience of qualia, which itself can't be experienced. So yes, you can test for the chemicals which produce love, but you can't test for love itself because love is first person. Love is not verifiable. Love is, and you could say it's verifiable because, and then you'd likely give like some sort of behavioralist argument. What I mean by her horse argument is also another thing that's also pointed out in this book, which is why you should really get this book, Lee Lemon. It shouldn't be too expensive. You probably find a PDF. You don't have to read the whole thing, just the psychoneural identity theory, the functionalism theory, and your horse argument is also a very behavioralist theory. What I mean by behavioralist theory is it has a lot of... We can also test for love through love behavior. See, this horse mother loves her horse baby because she has love behavior in terms of taking care of the baby. But we can't really prove love either from behavior. So I appear to love another person, so I engage in love behavior, like I help them out all the time, call them all the time. I have the general love behavior, you know what I mean by that. But that only proves that I'm exhibiting behavior which is consistent with the concept of love, or the idea of love. I can have no emotions at all and still have love behavior. See, that doesn't really prove love either. That I'm just behaving like I'm in love or doing the love thing. Because it doesn't prove the qualia. It still doesn't do anything to prove the qualia itself, which is by definition not scientifically provable. And just because it's not scientifically provable doesn't mean that it's automatically up in the air. Like you can't prove it wrong. For instance, there's tons of things which you can't scientifically prove are wrong, but you can philosophically prove are wrong. For instance, anything which is an argument which is totally illogical, like illogic, can't be scientifically proven bad, but philosophically you can, because the logic's not there. So yeah, this is why we really need to synthesize science and philosophy and not completely give up philosophy, because if you completely push philosophy to the side, people will make what they think are scientific arguments, which are really philosophic arguments, and because they don't know philosophy, they run into whole kinds of problems that they don't even know exist yet. So yes, key terms to Google for all of you. And I'll shut this video off. Qualia, psychoneural identity theory, behavioralism, and functionalism. I'll try to put, like, I don't know, links down there about it. That's it.